Now we look at the next method of payment, that is collection. So what is collection? First of all, collection is governed by the standard set of rules known as the Uniform Rules for Collection 522, or in short URC 522. Under this rule, collection is defined as the handling by banks of documents as defined in sub-article 2B in accordance with instructions received in order to number 1, obtain payment and or acceptance, or number 2, deliver documents against payment and or against acceptance, or number 3, deliver documents on other terms and conditions. So from this definition, there are important keywords that we need to know which form the meaning of collection. Number 1, banks. Number 2, handling. Number 3, documents. Number 4, acceptance. Number 5, payment. So these are the keywords that form the meaning of collection. Collection is in fact a process of how banks handle the documents. A bank will receive documents from a seller. So seller is the party who will send document to bank for collection. When the bank is in receipt of the documents, the bank will handle the documents by way of delivering. The documents presented by the seller may be usant documents, where the seller agreed to receive payment on maturity, that is, after a certain period of time, or could be sight documents where the buyer requests immediate payment. Either usance or sight, the duty of the bank is to deliver the documents to the buyer. The second way of handling the documents by bank is to obtain payment from the buyer for sight documents, and to obtain acceptance from the buyer for usance documents. Under sight documents, the bank must deliver and obtain payment from the buyer. And under usance documents, the bank must deliver the documents and obtain the buyer's acceptance, not the payment. Payment under usance documents will be collected upon maturity, that is, after a certain period of time. For example, 30 days after or 60 days after, and so on. So once the bank has delivered and obtained payment, either immediately or upon maturity, the payment then must be remitted to the seller. So this is how to understand this definition defined under Article 2A of URC 522. There are two types of collection. One is documentary collection and second is clean collection. Documentary collection consists of two types of document. One is financial documents and the other is commercial documents. Clean collection, on the other hand, only consists of one type of document, that is financial document. Financial document that is customary in trade is bills of exchange. Commercial document consists of invoice, transport documents, for example, bill of lading, delivery order, airway bill, and a packing list, insurance certificate, certificate of origin, and inspection certificate. So under documentary collection, there are so many documents involved, but in clean collection there is only one, that is bill of exchange. Under the collection payment arrangement, once the sales contract is concluded between the buyer and the seller is required to ship the goods first to the buyer. So once a shipment has been made, the seller will present documents to his bank. The seller's bank then presents the document to the buyer's bank. So upon receipt of the documents, the buyer's bank will deliver the documents to the buyer, either to obtain payment in the case of sight documents or to obtain acceptance in the case of usance documents. The buyer will pay his bank immediately in the case of sight documents, and in the case of usance documents, the buyer pays on the maturity date. The payment then will be remitted to the seller's bank and the seller will get his payment. In this type of payment arrangement, the seller will get his payment after he shipped the goods to the buyer. This arrangement gives high advantage to the buyer but represents high risk to the seller because the possibility of not getting paid is there. The primary function of the presenting bank is not to enforce payment on the buyer. Even if the buyer has given his acceptance by endorsing on the bills of exchange and promised to pay on maturity, the presenting bank is not in the capacity to enforce payment. Unlike letter of credit, under URC 522, no banks in this process hold any undertaking to pay.